Hi, my name's Kristen. I wanted to take the time to read through 3 books that we've been reading through with our daughter that we use to start the conversation about talking about the different racial injustices that are occurring throughout our history and today. The first book I'm going to read with you today is Sneetches. Now the Star Belly Sneetches had bellies with stars. The Plain Belly Sneetches had none upon theirs. Those stars weren't so big. They were really so small. You might think such a thing wouldn't matter at all. But because they had stars, all the Star Belly Sneetches would brag, "We're the best kind of Sneetches on the beaches." With their snoots in the air, they would sniff and they'd snout. "We'll have nothing to do with the plain belly sort." And whenever they met some, when they were out walking, they would hike right on past them without even talking. When the Star Belly children went out to play ball, could a plain belly get in the game? Not at all. You only could play if you had bellies with stars, and the plain belly children had none upon theirs. When the Star Belly Sneetches had frankfurter roast, or picnics or parties or marshmallow toast, they never invited the Plain Belly Sneetches. They left them out cold in the dark of the beaches. They kept them away, never let them come near. And that's the way they treated them year after year. Then one day it seems, while the Plain Belly Sneetches were mopin' and dopin' alone on the beaches, just sitting there wishing their bellies had stars, a stranger zipped up in the strangest of cars. "My friends," he announced in a voice clear and keen, "my name is Sylvester McMoney McBean, and I've heard of your troubles. I heard you're unhappy, but I can fix that. I'm the fix-it-up chappie. I've come here to help you. I have what you need, and my prices are low, and I work at great speed. And my work is 100% guaranteed." Then quickly Sylvester McMonkey McBean put together a very peculiar machine, and he said, "You want stars? Like a Star Belly Sneetch? My friends, you can have them for $3 each. Just pay me your money and hop right aboard." So they clambered inside. Then the big machine roared. It clunked, and it bumped, and it jerked, and it perked. And it bopped them about, and the thing really worked. When the Plain Belly Sneetches popped out, they had stars. They actually did. They had stars upon theirs. Then they yelled at the ones who had stars at the start. "We're exactly like you. You can't tell us apart. We're all just the same. Now, you snooty old smarties, and now we can go to your frankfurter parties." "Good grief," groaned the ones who had stars at the first. "We're still the best Sneetches, and they are the worst. But now, how in the world will we know?" They all frowned. If what kind is what, or the other way around. Then up came McBean with a very sly wink, and he said, "Things are not quite as bad as you think. So you don't know who's who. That is perfectly true. But come with me, friends. Do you know what I'll do? I'll make you again the best Sneetches on beaches, and all it will cost you is $10 eaches." "Belly stars are no longer in style," said McBean. "What you need is a trip through my star-off machine. This wondrous contraption will take off your stars, so you won't look like Sneetches who have them on theirs." And that handy machine, working very precisely, removed all the stars from their tummies quite nicely. Then, with snoots in their hair, they paraded about, and they opened their beaks, and they let out a shout. "We know who is who, and there there isn't a doubt, the best kind of Sneetches are Sneetches without. Then, of course, those with stars all got frightfully mad. To be wearing a star was frightfully bad. Then, of course, old Sylvester McMonkey McBean invited them into his stars off machine. Then, of course, from then on, as you probably guess, things really got into a horrible mess. All the rest of the day, on those wild, screaming beaches, the fix-it-up chappie kept fixing up Sneetches. Off again, on again, in again, out again. Through the machine, they raced round and round again, changing their stars every minute or two. They kept paying money. They kept running through, until neither the plane nor the Starbelly knew whether this one was that one, or that one was this one, or which one was which one, or what one was who. Then, when every last cent of their money was spent, the fix-it-up chappie packed up and he went. And he laughed as he drove in his car up the beach. They never will learn. No, you can't teach a Sneetch. But McBean was quite wrong. I'm quite happy to say that the Sneetches got really quite smart on that day. That day they decided that Sneetches are Sneetches, and no kind of Sneetch is the best on the beaches. That day, all the Sneetches forgot about stars and whether they had one or not upon Mars. So that was Sneetches. The next one I'm going to read with you is You Are Special. The Wimmicks were small wooden people. All of the wooden people were carved by a woodmaker named Eli, and his workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Each Wimmick was different. Some had big noses, others had large eyes, some were tall, and others were short. Some wore hats, others wore coats. But all were made by the same carver, and all lived in the village. And all day, every day, the Wimmicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Wimmick had a box of golden star stickers and a box of gray dot stickers. Up and down the streets, all over the city, people spent their days sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got stars. But if the wood was rough or the paint chipped, the Wimmicks gave dots. The talented ones got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing pretty songs. Everyone gave them stars. Some Wimmicks had stars all over them. Every time they got a star, it made them feel so good. It made them want to do something else and get another star. Others, though, could do little, and they got dots. Punchinello was one of those. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched, so the people would give him more dots. Then, when he would try to explain why he fell, he would say something silly, and the Wimmicks would give him more dots. After a while, he had so many dots that he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid. He would do something dumb, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many dots that some people would come up and give him one for no reason at all. He deserves lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with one another. He's not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. "I'm not a good Wemmick," he would say. The few times he went outside, he hung around other Wemmicks who had a lot of dots. He felt better around them. One day, he met a Wemmick who was unlike any he had ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lucia. And it wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Wemmicks admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would run up and give her a star. But it would fall off. Others would look around, look down on her because she had no stars, so they would give her a dot. But it wouldn't stay on either. That's the way I want to be, thought Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked the stickerless Wemmick how she did it. "It's easy," she replied. "Every day I go see Eli." "Eli?" "Yes. He's the wood carver. I sit in the workshop with him." "Why?" "Why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill. He's there." And with that, the Wemmick who had no stickers turned and skipped away. "But will you want to see me?" Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear, so Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and watched the wooden people as they scurried around, giving each other stars and dots. "It's not right," he muttered to himself, and he decided to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch up on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. A hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard. "I'm not staying here," and he turned to leave. Then he heard his name. "Punchinello?" The voice was deep and strong. Punchinello stopped. "Punchinello, how good to see you! Come and let me have a look at you." Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large, bearded craftsman. "You know my name?" the Wemmick asked. "Of course I do. I made you." Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at the gray dots. "Looks like you've been given some bad marks." "I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard." "Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what other Wemmicks think." "You don't?" "No. And you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Wemmicks, just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think. And I think you're pretty special." Punchinello laughed. "Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you?" Eli looked at Punchinello and put his hands on those small wooden shoulders and spoke very slowly. "Because you're mine. That's why you matter to me." Punchinello had never had anyone look at him like this, much less his maker. He didn't know what else to say. "Every day, I've been hoping you'd come," Eli explained. "I came because I met someone who had no marks," said Punchinello. "I know. She told me about you. Why do the stickers stick on her?" The maker spoke softly. "Because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them." "What?" "The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about their stickers." "I'm not sure I understand." Eli smiled. You will. It'll take time. I've got a lot of marks. For now, just come to see me every day, and let me remind you how much I care. Eli lifted Punchinello off the bench and sat him on the ground. Remember, Eli said as the Wemmicks walked out the door. You're special because I made you. And I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart he thought, I think he really means it. And then he did, and a dot fell to the ground. The last one I'm going to be reading is Colorfull. Summer had finally arrived. Umani was excited to blow bubbles and jump on the trampoline and climb trees. She and her brother Christopher were waiting for their friend Kayla to join in on the fun. Hi guys! Want to see who can blow the biggest, most poppable bubble? Asked Kayla as she climbed over the fence. Wow, look at my bubble, said Christopher. It's full of swirly colors. I've got colors floating on mine too, Kayla added. I never knew bubbles could have so many colors, said Umani. Well, you are all amazing bubble makers, said Granny Mac, walking outside to join the kids. Look, said Christopher, my bubble is ginormous, and it has 50 gazillion colors in it. How about that, said Granny Mac. Aren't colors wonderful? Mine has pink and purple. My favorite, said Kayla. Well, isn't that something, said Granny Mac. Right in this backyard. What other colorful things do you see? I see Mama's flowers. Lots of orange and yellow, said Umani. Kayla ran towards the garden. I see red tomatoes and green beans. Does gray count? Asked Christopher, because I see a crazy gray swirl running up that tree. Yep, gray is a color too. And I think it's a rather pretty one, said Granny Mac, patting her silvery hair. Close your eyes. Imagine if you couldn't see any of the colorful things around you. No blue sky, no white clouds, no crazy gray squirrel. Now open your eyes and enjoy the view. God did wonderful making his creation so colorful. Wouldn't it be sad to miss all the beauty he made? Umani looked around and thought for a second. Yep, this is better than being in the dark. You guys are probably thirsty after all that color hunting. Come have a snack. I want to tell you something that is very special about God's creation. We just saw how God painted vivid colors. He did that on purpose. He makes everything in the earth and sky a special color. Now, when God created people, he didn't make all of us one color either, did he? Asked Granny Mac. No, ma'am. God made my skin chocolate, just like yours, said Christopher with pride. That's right, chuckled Granny Mac. God decided chocolate was the right skin color for you. And Umani, even though you and Christopher are in the same family, your caramel-colored skin is different than his. What about me, Granny Mac? Asked Kayla, her eyes wide. Dear girl, God decided you would look beautiful with vanilla-colored skin. And red hair, added Kayla. Absolutely. Hair the color of the rising sun, said Granny Mac with a smile. God must love color to have made all of the earth's people with such wonderful shades. That's something to celebrate. We can celebrate all of our differences. The color of our skin, the texture of our hair, the shape of our eyes, nose, and lips. Every single person is a part of God's grand design. Sometimes people say we should be color blind and not notice the different colors of our skin. But God gave us eyes to take in all his wonderful colors. Why would we want to be blind and not see them? So, if we aren't colorblind, then what are we? Asked Kayla. Granny Mac declared, well, our eyes are full of all the colors God made, and our hearts are full of celebration for all that color. So, that means we are colorful. Yeah, baby. We're not colorblind, we're colorful, said Christopher. You know what else has color? Ice cream. Whoopee, said the kids. Look, said Amani, all of our ice cream is colorful too. Being colorful sure does taste good, said Christopher. I agree, said Granny Mac. Being colorful is one of God's sweetest gifts. The end. So take time to talk about this with your kids and with each other, and just think through. If you were one of the Wemmicks who had the dot stickers or a Plain Belly Sneetch, like how would that make you feel as you read that story? To be one of them and to be not included. Have you ever treated someone that way? Do you have anyone you need to apologize to? Or have you ever been treated this way? And if so, I'm so sorry. Lastly, I want you to think about how can you stand up for others if you see this happening around you. Thank you for taking so much time to join us and read through the books with us. I hope this is a start to being able to talk with your children and each other more about this. Have a great day.